Hello friends, today we'll be discussing how we can configure static web app as a backend pool with application gateway using private endpoints. So as you can see, we have created a static web app. The static web app free plan doesn't have the private endpoint capability. So when you go to the private endpoint, so there's an option to upgrade. The standard feature have this capability. When I click on standard, let me upgrade it. So meanwhile it is upgrading. Let's see that this is with the basic static web app we have configured. This is the URL using which we can see it's running. Yes. Okay, so now see if the plan is upgraded. Yeah, it's been updated. Go to the private endpoints, go to the add, click on express, write the name private endpoint 1. Okay, so it's showing there's a no virtual network to integrate with. So let's create a virtual network first. Let's create the virtual network in the same region, vnet 1. Let's go with the default settings. Review create. We're starting for the validation. Yeah, let's create that. Once this virtual network is created, we can then create a private endpoint because it will assign a private IP to that static web app. So that's why we need that. Let's wait. Yeah, it's configured now. Now go to a static web app, Nebo 1 app, go to the private endpoints, click on add, click on express. Yeah, we can see the network private endpoint. Just give it the name as it is. Select the virtual network. Select a subnet. Let's go by default. Integrate with private DNS is checked to yes. Okay. So it will take some moment to create the endpoint. Meanwhile, let's create the application gateway. Search the application gateway. Yeah. Create an application gateway. Give it demo 1. Give it a name application gateway 1. Select default. Let's go the default setting. We don't need auto scaling. Virtual network, let's change it to the central US because our virtual network is in the central US region. Yeah, let's see where is our virtual network rated. Central US. Okay, go to the application gateway. Let's see once again. Central US demo 1 app gateway 1. Let's keep all the settings default. Okay, so maybe we need to create a new subnet. Go to the subnet section. Okay, create a subnet. Subnet A underscore name. Select. Yeah, it's done. Now go to the application gateway. Click on add. Select demo 1. App gateway 1. Central US. Go to the default settings. Yeah, now we can see VNet 1 and we can choose subnet A. Let's go to the front end. Create a public IP. Public. Give it a name. Now go to the backend. For now, let's create backend. Let's create without any targets for now. We'll add it later. Go to the configuration. Add a routing rule. Let's give it a rule 1. Priority needs to be 1. Let's give it a name listener 1. This will be the public IP HTTP 80 port backend. Select a backend. Add a backend setting. Give it a name. So we need it on 443 port because our static web app is hosted on HTTPS. So that's why we have set 443. Set it to yes, and this is the important option. We need to set it yes. Pick host name from the backend target. Click on add listener. Click on add. Yeah. Click on next. Review. Yeah. Great. So meanwhile, our application gateway is deploying. Let's see our static web app. So as you can see, our static web app private endpoint is created. You can click on the private endpoint. It will show the name of the virtual network interface, private link resource. You just need to set the private endpoint if you want to see from the browser. Go to the private endpoint. It will give you a private endpoint IP. When you click on that, it will give you the DNS configuration as well. So you can see that it automatically creates a private DNS zone which is pointing to the private IP. So this is already configured for us, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now we can see that our static web app private endpoint is configured. Sorry, yeah, go to the static web app, and here if we try to browse it, yeah, it's showing forward, and because we have enabled the private endpoint, so it won't be accessible using the public IP address. Okay, so let's wait until our application gateway is deployed. Yeah, our application gateway is deployed. Let's go to the resource group. Yeah, open the application gateway, the new window. So to clarify that, we can see from the public URL, our static web app is not working. It's showing forbidden. Let's see if it works with the other application gateway. In the application gateway, let's configure the backend pools. Go to the backend pools. Yeah. So here we need to add the public URL of our static web app. So what we need to do, go to the static web app, copy this URL, and the big backend pool, add the target. We just need to remove the HTTP from this starting. Yeah. So even though this public URL is forbidden from the browser, but it will redirect to a private link using this application gateway. So you just need to click on save. It will take some time to reflect. If that doesn't work for you, so you can do a application gateway start and stop. After that, it will update quickly. Let's wait till it deploys. Yeah, it has been deployed. Let's refresh it. Let's go to overview. This is the IP address of application gateway. If you click on that, you can get more information on the IP address. Let's copy this IP address and check. Yeah, as you can see, using the application gateway, your private static web app is working. Okay, thank you.